Hey YouTube fam, welcome back. As always, very excited to be here and practice with you today. Today's practice is going to be a little bit more on the intermediate / advanced side of things. Very playful, a little bit funky in our sequencing. I have a full-length version of this practice inside the Kula. I recorded an hour-long class, maybe even a little longer than that, and loved it so much that I knew I had to bring a version of it here to you. So thank you for practicing with me here. If you want a full-length version of this class or any of the many hundreds of classes that live inside the Kula platform, come hang out with us over there. And I'll put links below and you can try it out for a month and all of those things. Everything is linked, as well as upcoming yoga teacher trainings. I am now teaching both 200 and 300-hour yoga teacher trainings. There are some online modules, lots of in-person modules, and we go into some really fun depths with the 300-hour modules that are my newest offerings added to my teacher training curriculum. Retreats are on the horizon as well, as always. So all the links below, check it all out. And above and beyond any of it, just thank you for being here. It's always an honor to be in this community with you all and to move with you and play. Let's go ahead and start moving. Grab a block if you have one. And we're going to start right away into movement today, and we'll bring in a little pocket of stillness at the end. But to start, I want you to find yourself seated on the shins, and just for the sake of everyone being in the same place, let's find the back of the mat. So seated at the back of the mat, onto a block, onto the shins, toes untucked. And then to start here, just find a little bit of a sway of the hips side to side, just kind of wiggling into that sweet spot in the middle that you want to land in. Hands fall into the lap. Just one big breath together to land here. Inhale through the nose, fill up. Make your exhale long and slow. Inhale, fill up. As you do, sweep the arms up and over. Exhale this time, cactus out the elbows, open up the heart, slide the shoulder blades down the back body. 2 more times, in breath, reach fingertips to sky, pull the low ribs in. As you exhale, cactus out the elbows and open the heart. In breath, hands to sky. Out breath, cactus elbows, open up. Find yourself back through neutral spine and let the hands fall to the lap. Shrug the shoulders up to the ears for a moment, creating some engagement in the shoulders and the neck. Maybe you even clench the muscles of the face. And then big exhale, let it all go. All right, let's shift our weight onto the left shin so that we can swing the right leg around. We're gonna plant the right foot to the mat. We're gonna bring some movement patterns and some shapes into our body to build familiarity with them so that when we bring them into flow later, we're set up for it and we know where we're going. So to start here, I want you to just lift all 5 toes up off the mat, and then one at a time, piano key, one toe and then the next toe, the next, until all 5 toes have really gripped the mat, and then hug the toes in towards the center of the foot. And then do it again. Lift them up and piano key them down. And if you're looking at your foot and not much or even nothing is happening, that's really good information for you that you have some mobility work to do in your feet. And it's really important work. It's not glamorous, exciting work, but it's really important because our feet are really what hold us and carry us throughout the world. So this sort of articulation is really important for the integration of movement throughout our entire system. All right, next time all 5 toes are gripped to the mat, pause there, really hug them in. Get tall through the spine. And then without changing anything else in the upper body, can you lift the right foot to a hover above the floor, compressing at the right hip, really hug the right thigh in towards the right rib cage. Now, flex the right toes, pull the toes up towards the right knee. Extend the right leg long. Maybe lift the right foot a little higher. Possible that you even bring the hands to the top of the right thigh and give yourself some resistance. So give yourself some push with the hands and then resist that. Pull the thigh up into the hands. And then slowly lower the right foot all the way down to the mat out in front of you. As it lands, hinge forward at the hips, arms towards airplane wings. And find a little bit of a pulse here. Come back up through center, tall through the spine. Bend into the right knee with or without the help of the hands. Shift forward into this extended lunge shape. Right knee might traction way past the right ankle. That's welcome here. Bump right hip back a little, left hip forward. And then pull the hips right back to the block. We're gonna come out the way we came in and add a little bit on. Lift the right foot as high as you can. Maybe even a little higher than that. Stay tall in the spine. If you feel yourself leaning back, can you resist that? Pull the heart forward. Now bend into the right knee, right foot hovers above the floor. Keep the right thigh hugging to right rib cage. Now plant the right foot to the mat. Press into the feet as they are. So you're on the top of the left foot. Come all the way to stand. Drive the hips forward and engage into the glutes. And then bend the knees and lower right back down to the block. Let's do that 2 more times. Lift it to the top, drive the hips forward. Bend the knees and lower to the block. 1 more time. Drive it up to the top. Keep the feet as they are, fold over the legs. So fingertips might reach the floor, they might not. Drive into the right heel, bring it back up to the top, and then bend the knees and lower back to the block. Little funky mobility-ish sequence, second side, and then we bring it into more flow. So right shin to the mat, and then circle the left foot around, planting the left foot to the floor. Now you might need to move the block so that it supports your left cheek a little better. We'll start by piano keying the toes. Lift all 5 toes up, and then one at a time, piano key them down, really gripping to the mat and then hugging in towards the center of the foot. And then do that a couple more times. If you need to use your hand to help your toes do this, you can. You can start to kind of help build that mind-body connection. Next time all 5 toes are really gripped to the mat, pause there, get really tall through the spine, so bump the heart forward, and now lift the left foot to a hover above the floor. Left thigh hugs to the left rib cage, lower ribs pull in. Straighten the left leg. Left foot lifts as high as you can. Hands might even press to the top of the left thigh and then resist the push. Lower the left foot all the way to the floor in 5, 4, 3, 2. As the left foot finds the mat, hinge forward, reach the arms towards the space behind you, airplane wings. Find a little bit of a bounce with the upper body here. As you find your inhale back up to the top, bend into both knees, shift it forward into this low lunge shape. Drive the hips forward, but scrub the left hip back a little bit. As you find your next inhale, straighten through the left leg, pull the hips all the way back to the block. Keep the left leg straight. Lift the left foot as high as you can, maybe even a little higher than that. Bend the left knee, left foot floats off the floor. Squeeze left heel into the block or into the glutes. And then as you lower the left foot down to the mat, feet are as they are. So you're on the top of the right foot. Come all the way to stand. Drive the hips forward, engage the glutes. Bend into the knees, lower back down to the block. 2 more times. Drive it to the top. Lower all the way down. 1 more time to the top. Pause here. Hinge forward at the hips and fold over the legs as they are. Again, fingertips may or may not reach the floor, but either way, you're really just letting the upper body kind of waterfall forward over the left thigh. Drive into the left heel as it is, and on your in-breath, come all the way back up to the top, and then bend the knees lower down. All right, we're gonna swing the left shin around so that we're back on the shins, and now move the block off to the side of the mat. We are at the back of the mat. Now let's tuck onto the toes. Lean back with or without the help of the hands. Lift the knees from the mat. And then forward fold, lift the hips up. Feet are hip width distance apart here. Clasp opposite elbows, sway left and right. Drop the weight of the head, shake the head, yes, no. Maybe a little bit of a bounce. And as you release the fingertips down to the floor, walk it out, plank pose. Wrists underneath the shoulders. Circle it out a couple times. So circling the wrists around in one direction, or I guess circling you around your wrists, more likely. Switch direction of your circles. Find center, side plank on the right side, roll to the outside edge of right foot, inside edge of left foot, and reach the left fingertips up and over. Circle the left hand up and over towards the top of the mat, so bringing length down the left side. As you inhale, roll through center, plank pose. Pause here for a moment. Bend the elbows lower halfway, chaturanga. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Press up to the top. Roll to the outside edge of the left foot. Right fingertips sweep up high. Again, hips drive up to the ceiling. And then reach the right arm up and over, palm faces the floor. On your inhale, roll through center, plank pose. Bend the elbows lower halfway. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. This time lower to the belly. Untuck the toes, oscillating cobra. Set the hands up wide, tent out the fingers. As you press into the fingers, it's an inhale to lift the heart up, and an exhale that rolls you right back down. 2 more times. In breath, lift to the top. Out breath, heart to earth. Once more. In breath, you lift. Out breath, you lower. Slide hands underneath the shoulders, tuck onto the toes. Knees are either grounded or lifted. It's your preference. Press to the top, find your plank pose. And then bend into the knees and wave it back. Downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a couple moments here to pedal left and right. Maybe you move the hips side to side a little bit. On your next inhale, sweep the right toes high, bend into the right knee and open up the hip. As you exhale, bring the right knee across the body, left elbow, pause. Kick the right foot up and back, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, right knee across the body, left elbow. In breath, kick it up and back. Last time on your exhale, right knee, left elbow, pause. Outside edge of the right foot steps over to the left, fallen star. So spin the left foot flat and sweep the left fingertips up and over. Now, bend into the left knee and pull the hips back towards the left heel. Right leg stays straight or straight-ish. And then straighten through the left leg, and now the right knee bends, pulling the hips kind of off towards the side of the mat. Straighten through the right leg and bend the left. And then again, just kind of moving it side to side, straighten left, and you bend the right. Take 1 or 2 more here on your own. Any other movements or wiggles that you want to add into the mix, into the pattern, are always welcome. And as you're ready for it, find middle, find that fallen star shape. Left hand comes back down to the floor. Right knee slides all the way to the right elbow. You pause. Maybe you pull the right knee up towards right armpit. And then step the right foot to the outside of right hand. Twisted lizard lunge, left knee drops to the floor. As the left heel squeezes in, right arm reaches up and over and around. So the right hand catches the left foot, or at least the reach is there, even if the grip doesn't happen. You might even roll to the outside edge of the right foot and roll the heart up towards the sky. As you unravel the shape, both hands find the floor on the inside of the right foot. Lift the left knee, step the left foot forward, malasana, yogi squat. Drop the hips low. Now, pop up onto the toes here. Lift the heels high. And then sink the heels down towards the floor. And then drive onto the toes, lift the heels up. And then lower the heels down, and one more time, drive off the toes, heels lift. This time, heels lower down, hips lift, forward fold. Walk the feet into hip width distance. 1 vertebrae at a time, roll your way to stand. Circle the arms up and over at the top. As you exhale, cactus out the elbows and open up the heart. In breath, hands to sky. As you exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, bring it down. Inhale to halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant the hands. We meet in a down dog. If you want to add on your crow pose or an inversion along the way, you could. Or you can step straight back. Move it through a vinyasa. Eventually, downward facing dog is where we meet. On an inhale, sweep the left toes high. Bend the left knee, open up the hip. So knee points to ceiling, heel squeezes to glutes. As you exhale, left knee across the body, right elbow. Pause. In breath, kick it up and back, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, left knee across the body, right elbow. In breath, kick it up and back. As you exhale, left knee, right elbow, this time fallen star, outside edge of the left foot steps to the right. Right foot spins flat, and right fingertips reach up and overhead. Again, welcome to pause right here for as long as you like. When you're ready to bring some movement into the mix, right knee bends, you pull the hips back, think of like winding up the shape. And then straighten through the right leg. And when you meet middle, left knee bends, driving your hips off to the right. Move it side to side a couple of times. Any movements that you add into the mix, always welcome and encouraged and invited. And when you're ready to find your way back towards middle, pause. Circle the right hand back down to the floor as you shift to the right toes. And then slide the left knee all the way to the left elbow. Step the left foot to the outside of left hand. Twisted lizard lunge, right knee drops to the floor. Left fingertips circle around as the right heel squeezes in towards glutes. If you get the grip of the hand to the foot, find a bit of a kick. And if you don't get the grip, then the reach is still there. Unravel both hands back to the floor. Lift the right knee and step forward, Malasana, passive squat, hips drop low. This time, you're gonna pop up onto the right toes. Can you swing the right knee towards tapping the left ankle or wherever it lands? And then pivot the right knee open, pop up onto left toes. Left knee swivels past midline to tap the right. And then move it side to side a couple of times. Getting a little bit rhythmic with it. Seeing if you can smooth out the pivot and the swivel. Moving around yourself side to side. Next time you find yourself in the middle, forward fold, lift the hips up. Walking the feet back in towards hip width distance and then roll your way all the way to stand. Sweep the fingertips up and over at the top, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, bring it right back down. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant hands, take it back. Any way you want to move towards your down dog. When you make it down to back to your down dog, we're gonna add on some elements and bring this into a much bigger flow. On an inhale, sweep the right toes high. Exhale, right knee comes across the body, left elbow. Fallen star, outside edge of the right foot to the floor. Left foot spins flat, left fingertips up and over. Pause here. This time we're gonna bend into the left knee. Think of winding up the shape. As you shift weight into the outside edge of the right foot, you're gonna step the left foot up and over and all the way to the top of the mat. So pull left knee up towards left armpit, step the left foot all the way to the top of the mat, and then we bookmarked a shape at the beginning of practice. You're gonna slide the right shin to the floor, right knee on the inside of the left foot, and you find yourself seated. All right. Press into the feet as they are. Drive it all the way to stand. Rebend into the knees and lower right shin to the mat. 2 more times, drive it to the top and then lower it down. 1 more time, drive it up. Bend into the knees, lower right shin to the floor. This time when you get there, can you tuck onto the right toes? Find a little bit of a lean back and see if you can lift the right knee from the floor. And then tap it back down. 1 or 2 more times like that, lifting and tapping. This time, right knee lifts, swivel it open to the right, and then left knee taps the right ankle. And then open to the left, and then right knee taps. And you move it side to side 1 or 2 more times before eventually pausing in your Malasana Yogi squat, and now you're facing off to the right side of the mat. Hands plant crow pose. So hands are shoulder width distance, knees to the backs of the arms, possibly the toes lift. If you'd rather play with your an inversion of choice, you can do that as well here. Lift the back of the heart to sky if you're in your crow pose. Bump the elbows in towards each other. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Drop the feet back to the mat. You're in your Malasana facing off the right side. As you pop up onto right toes, we're going to swivel it back around to the top. So right knee to the left ankle, right knee to the floor. Untuck the right toes. And then one last time, bring it all the way to the top. Okay, we'll get a little bit more flowy with it now. Hinge forward at the hips and fold over the legs as they are. And then as the hands find the floor, you can bend the left knee as needed. Standing split, lift the right toes all the way to sky. Engage into the right glutes to lift the right toes up. We're going to find a little bit of a movement pattern that we repeat several times and move it side to side. So we're going to hop switch the feet. This could be an opportunity to catch the balance in handstand, or you can keep it really low to the ground. But you'll hop off of the left foot, you'll swap the feet in the air and land on the right foot. As soon as the right foot plants, step the left toes to back of mat, slide it into your skandasana. So hips to the left heel. Right leg straightens out, right toes point up. Now we're going to do that side to side several times. So sweep it back to the top of the mat, plant the hands, kick off of the left foot, swap it out, skandasana to the back of the mat. So now the hips are to the right heel, left leg is straight, left toes point up. Move it side to side a couple more times. Shifting forward, hop switch the feet. Maybe you catch the balance for a moment, maybe you don't. Next time you find yourself in a skandasana with the left foot forward, the right foot back, and the hips to the right heel, and take your time getting there, we pause. So hips to the right heel, left leg is forward. Shift it forward, warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2, left knee bends, reach the fingertips long in both directions. Softening the shoulders down. Reach the left fingertips forward and down, side angle pose. Right hand reaches high. Right arm reaches all the way to the front of the room, palm faces down. And if you want to spice this up a little bit, left arm also reaches forward and hang out here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Right hand to the mat, side plank on the right side. Step the left foot back. Option to either hang out in your side plank or to step it open to your wild thing. Left knee bends, left toe step behind, you drive the hips up. As you inhale, roll through middle, find your plank shape, wrists underneath the shoulders. Any vinyasa you'd like along your way to a downward facing dog. All right, that whole playful, funky sequence. One more time, second side. On your next inhale, lift the left toes high. As you exhale, left knee across the body, right elbow right into your fallen star, outside edge of left foot to the floor, right fingertips up and over. Bend the right knee, pull the hips to back of mat. Again, we're going to step the right foot up and over to the top of the mat. So as you straighten the right leg, shift weight to the left foot. Right foot steps all the way to the top of the mat. As it lands, left shin to the floor, left knee on the inside of the right foot. As you get here, drive into the feet as they are. Send it all the way to the top, hips forward, engage the glutes, and then bend the knees and lower left shin to the mat. 2 more times. To the top, hips forward, glutes engage, bend knees, lower down. 1 more time for now. Drive it up, send it forward, bend the knees and lower down. Now as you get here, lean it forward a little so you can tuck onto the left toes. Lean it back a little so you can lift the left knee. And a couple times, tap the left knee to the floor and then pull it back in. Some sneaky foot mobility in today's practice. Next time, left knee is lifted, add a swivel at the hip, pivot open towards your malasana yogi squat, facing off the left side of the mat. And then onto the right toes and swivel it the other way. So right knee taps towards the left ankle. Open it up through center. Move it side to side a couple of times. And then whenever you're ready to meet in the middle, malasana, again, you're facing off the side of the mat. Hands plant either crow pose, or if you want to use it as an opportunity to get upside down in an inversion, you can do that as well. Whatever shape you're in, whatever place you're exploring, could also be 5 breaths in your malasana squat. Be here for a final 5, 4, 3, 2, feet find the mat, hips lower, Malasana squat. Out the way we came in, pop up onto the left toes. Pivot the left knee back towards the right ankle. Drop the left knee to the floor. Untuck the left toes. Hips find the left heel. Now we drive it up to the top and we flow it out a little bit. Hinge forward at the hips, folding all the way down. Hands find the floor. As the left foot lifts, you meet in your standing split. And give yourself a breath here. Bumping left hip down, lift left toes high. We're gonna hop, switch the feet, and move it in and out of our skandasana. So as you shift weight into the hands, hop off of the right foot, land on the left. As the left foot lands, the right foot steps back. Sweep it back, skandasana. And then we'll move it back and forth. Left knee bend, sweep and slide it forward, hands plant. Hop off of left, land on right. Left toes to back of mat. Hips find the left heel. One more full round on your own. Finding your own rhythm and pace, and maybe you catch the balance in between. Or again, your hops can be little, they can be low to the ground, just getting weight into the hands and practicing what that feels like. Next time the left foot is back. Hips are over the left heel, that is where you pause, right leg forward, skandasana. Shift it forward, warrior 2, virabhadrasana 2, right knee bends. Reaching fingertips long in both directions. Arms towards parallel with the ground. Bend your right knee even more. Side angle pose, Parshva-Konasana, right fingertips forward and down. Reach the left arm up and over first, and then all the way towards the top of the mat, left palm faces down towards the floor. Option to stay or to also reach the right arm forward and be here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Left hand finds the mat, side plank, roll to the outside edge of the left foot. Right foot steps back. Right fingertips to sky, holding here. Option to hang out where you're at or roll it open towards your wild thing, right toes behind you. You send the hips up. As you inhale, roll through middle plank pose. Vinyasa any way you like it, or send it straight back, downward dog. We'll do a variation of that sequence one more time, but the intention for this last time through is flow and creating a rhythm out of it. So we'll move a little quicker, but I encourage you even so to take time in the transition spaces between the shapes. And it'll be same, but different, little modifications. On an inhale, lift the right toes high. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, right to your fallen star. Reach the left fingertips up. Left knee bends, wind it up. Left knee straightens, step the left foot up and over, top of mat. Slide the right shin to the floor, right knee to the inside of the left foot. Press into the feet as they are. Drive it all the way to stand. This time straight to the fold, hinge it forward. Hands find the mat, right toes lift. As you hop off of the left foot, you land on the right foot, and then you sweep and slide it back, skandasana, to the left heel. And then all the way forward, plant the hands, hop, switch the feet, left foot plants, hips all the way to the right, you pause. Shift it forward, warrior 2. Meet the shape for a moment, and then slide the left fingertips forward and down, right arm up and over, right palm faces the floor at the top of the mat. Circle the right hand all the way down, side plank on the right side. Left foot takes its big step back, or a couple little steps. Maybe roll it open to your wild thing. As you inhale, roll through middle, find your plank pose. Vinyasa if you want it. Last time, last side. On your inhale, sweep left toes high. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Fallen star, outside edge of the left foot to the floor. Right fingertip left. Right knee bends, pull the hips back, wind it up. Step the right foot all the way up and over to the top of the mat. Left shin to the floor. Left knee to the inside of the right foot. And as shoulders pull on top of hips, drive into the heels and drive it to the top. Hinge at the hips, sending it all the way forward. And as hands find the floor, left toes lift, standing split. Right knee bends. You hop off of the right foot, land on the left foot, and sweep and slide it back. Skandasana. One more time, we pause on the other side, left knee bends, slide it forward, hop off of left, land on right. As the left foot finds back of mat, hips find left heel, you pause, and then bring it forward, warrior two. Soften the shoulders, back and down, reach through the fingertips. Extended side angle pose, right hand forward and down, reach left fingertips up and over, left palm faces the floor. Left hand circles to the mat, side plank, roll to the outside edge of the left foot as the right foot steps back. Option to stay, or one more time to roll it open towards your wild thing. And as you inhale, you unravel, plank pose, and vinyasa, one last vinyasa, any way you like it, along your way to a downward facing dog. As you land in this down dog, soften the knees to the floor, scooting forward on the mat so you can separate the feet apart and sit in between the heels. Virasana, hero's pose. If this is too much for the knees, the hips, you can sit up onto a block or bump the feet back together and sit onto the feet. You can stay here. You can drop the hands behind you. You could drop the forearms behind you. You could find your way all the way to the back body. If you've made your way to the back, we'll make our way first to forearms and then to hands. Be slow about this transition out all the way to the top until shoulders stack on top of hips. And we'll come to standing on the shins. One last back bend, camel pose. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Hands find the low back, fingers point down. Roll the shoulders onto back body, and as you send the hips forward, you open the heart towards the sky. You might even bring one hand to one heel and then the other if that space is available. And if hands have lowered to heels, let's bring them back to the low back first and then up tall, releasing the back bend. Just pause here for a moment. You might find a little wiggle of the hip side to side, or sometimes I imagine an imaginary hula hoop and just kind of move it around in that way. And then eventually, come all the way to a seat, however you want to cross over the ankles. And bring the legs out long in front of you. One last Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Sweep the fingertips up and over. Inhale. Hinge at the hips. Exhale. You might drop the weight of your head. You might pull the chin into chest. In breath, up tall through the spine. Out breath, roll your way to the back body. Full body stretch when you get there, reaching through fingertips, kicking through heels. And really at this point, it's any last movements that you like before coming all the way into your Shavasana. I know I'm bringing us into stillness quickly here, so If you want to add on a twist or any more back bends or a shoulder stand or plow pose, do your thing. Give yourself what you need to feel well-rounded and to have space to really just let go and settle into the stillness in these last minutes of your practice. And letting the closing of the eyes serve as a pull of the gaze to an inner space. And stay for as long as you have time and space for. Lingering in the pause. When you're ready to transition out, be slow about it, be sweet with yourself. Honoring the practice, honoring your body, your system. And take care of yourself, take care of each other out there. Thank you for being a part of this practice that is so many things that we call yoga. And I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.